Appreciate it. Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my talk show. I'm your host, Owen Rebel, again, for those who don't know who I am, and we're going to have a special guest coming in shortly, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And again, just a quick reminder, if you have any questions, please use the command exclamation point questions in the chat. That way, if you have a question and you want to write something down, write it down now, and then when about an hour or so, maybe we'll get to it and hopefully answer your question. And hopefully enjoy tonight's show. I really am excited to interview our guest Puck here because they also do talk shows and stuff like that. And I think they deserve the recognition they deserve in their hard work. But anyway, let's introduce our guest. Coming from behind the curtains, Puck.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm gonna come. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I gotta find my chat. Oh, smooth. That went perfectly. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. It's lovely to see you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. You know, I always support fellow content creators in this way. A fellow talk show host, so I mean, hey, you know, I was on your show, I was in your pilot episode, and now you're on my show. You know, it's a two-way street. So
yeah, yours is definitely way more advanced. It looks so cool. I really like yours.
Thank you. I listen. Your show will do it just as good, if not better. I mean, honestly, you have a huge crowd of people. You have talented people helping you out. The only difference is that I've just been doing it longer, you know? So that's like the real difference, is, you know? So
I feel like there's a lot that talk show hosts, because there's a few, and I found a few from doing season 1, and there are a few out there. I remember Sign does one as well. And yeah, it was really nice to actually find that there are some podcasts and like other talk shows around, but they just we don't know about them because they're not in the public eye. And it's just like so yeah, it's nice that everyone knows about you and your show, because people can learn from you and they can get direction on, you know, how it should be done, basically, because you set the staple for in the early days. I remember like back in the day when you started, I was watching you, so I can't believe it's been this many years. It's been a long time.
yeah, it's been a long time, but you know what? You know, I'm always expanding. I'm always working on this world. This world's been greatly updated in the last, I'll say like 4 or 5 months. There's a lot more things going on. Some things that I don't really show on stream, but they're just being worked on behind the scenes, and then when they're ready to be shown, it's almost like a DLC pack. It's like, whoa, new stuff. What the heck?
Just like, what? Yeah, I can't believe all of the like advanced stuff you have here, like the floaty cameras, and you have sound effects as well, and you have like a curtain.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. I can't imagine what the rent is like here. It's like this looks like an expensive place.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had to take out a second mortgage. You know, I had to, you know, I'm kind of behind on my bills, but don't tell anyone that. You know what I'm saying? You know. But I heard that that apparently it's your birthday, or was What's the story on that, huh?
It is my birthday. As of like an hour ago, it's my birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
snap. Well, happy
my
birthday.
birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Puck, everybody.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday. It was my birthday a week ago.
Thank you, Reed.
So, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to you too.
Thank you, thank you.
Do you mind telling people how old you are, or is it kind of like a secret for you?
I'm 27.
Do you tell
I don't hide who I
Oh,
am.
jealous.
I'm an old man.
Oh,
But you're even older. So
do you know how old
mean,
I am?
30.
Oh, I'm way older.
4.
Oh, you're so close. I just turned 35.
Damn it. I knew
This
that
is
you
so
were.
close.
I knew you were older than me because you told me once before that you were in your 30s. So I knew that at least. But I wasn't too far.
Yeah,
off.
I'm older than most.
That's okay because in VR
no one ever
chat,
thinks I'm that old.
you can stay 21 forever. So I mean, it's whatever, right?
Yeah, I definitely don't look 35 right now. That's
That's true. I mean, it is what it is. But let's get into some questions. You know, some of these are gonna sound maybe familiar to the way maybe your own show runs, or stuff like that. But I also asked some very specific questions. So we're gonna start with some basic ones. You know, just to get to know you. Maybe some people out there watching may not know these answers,
Yeah.
or maybe want to share them. So one of the first things I always like to ask is, well, how did you get into VR chat? You know, how did you end up in this virtual land, this headset on, and sitting on a couch or a sofa? Like, how'd you end up discovering VR chat initially?
It was quite funny. So, I don't know if you've heard of him. Do you know the name Nags21, also known as Joey
Yes.
Bagels?
Yeah, I literally interviewed the guy
going
several
going
times.
back. Yeah, I watched the interviews back in the day when you were interviewing him. Like that's how long I've known you and your show for. It's like it's crazy. How many years ago has it been? Like 4 years? Like I've been playing now 4.5 years. But yeah, I was watching Nags21 on YouTube. I was just, when you have those moments where you're on YouTube and you go through your recommended and you get lost in like the weird and wonderful things of YouTube. I came across his videos and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I must watch more. And I just binge watched all of his episodes up until that point. And this was about sort of October, November 2017. So when he was still doing the series on YouTube. And this was just where the craze for Knuckles was also coming in. I'm so glad I didn't come in from the Knuckles craze. I'm glad that I had like good roots when I came in. And I saw him having all this fun and going on these adventures and meeting all these people. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to make a group of friends. I want to go on adventures. This looks like so much fun. So I started playing in desktop and I made my first few friends and I absolutely loved it. And then couple months later, I got my first VR set, which was a Rift, and it just went from there. I've played it ever since. I can't imagine a life without it now. I really, really can't.
Really? That's quite the story, because I've interviewed a lot of people, and it's very few people that still to this day would say like, oh, I got in because of Nags. Like most people nowadays are like, oh, it's Lolathon or Rafflegator or who else? I don't know, some other people. Nini maybe. ADC. Yeah,
blown up recently.
Yeah,
ADC's blown up. Yeah.
So it seems like
yeah, it's because that's the new generation coming in, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting though. So when you got your VR for the first time, how did it feel to actually get into the game? Like when you popped it on, we were like, "Whoa, what the? Oh my god, I'm anime!" Like, were you just like going like crazy, or?
Yeah, I was literally tripping balls. It made me feel sick instantly. I felt motion sick. I was like, maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have bought this. But, I after a couple of days, I was way more comfortable to it. I still get motion sickness though. If I can't do like roller coasters and fly the planes and drive the car. I can drive cars actually. I'm okay with cars. Anything else though, motorbikes, anything, I will instantly feel sick. I can't do it. It's horrible. So that's never completely left me. But yeah, once I got used to it, I was like, there is no way I'm going back to desktop. It's just not even a thought. I couldn't do it.
Dusty Dust Bunny with the rate of 53. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, Dusty.
Thank you. Oh,
Hi,
I know
Dusty.
why there's no alerts.
Oh, wow.
Because I
How
disabled
am I
them.
supposed to
Whoops.
fit all of you
I
in
fixed
such
it.
a tight little space?
I appreciate
You sound
it.
like me. I always scuff something.
Yeah, I'm like, oops. I just disable alerts, but I fixed it now. I Just took me a second.
Okay, your hosts work? Do your hostings work? Like, do you get an alert when someone hosts you?
Yeah, I have a specific voice.
Mine don't work.
Really?
Mine just for the life of me. I've tried on Stream Elements and Streamlabs, and it's just like, nope, not gonna work for you.
Really?
Because, yeah, it's really annoying. I was wondering if it's just me, and it turns out it is. I'm just. It's
I
another
don't
example
know.
of how I'm just scuffed in everything.
It works
I
for
do.
me, but like nobody hosts anymore because rating is just superior. Because it actually sends the viewers.
Yeah.
Hosting makes it so you're sort of like auto-hosting that. That's what hosting is. Like it's like it shows that person's stream, but the viewers are still in your chat. Like they didn't move.
They're still
to
in
that.
your in your chat.
Maybe
Oh my
honestly.
God, have you ever been?
Honestly, I think they should just remove hosting and just
you
make it rating only, because like the point is to send your viewers to the other streamer, not just like have them sit on your channel and not get the viewers.
Yeah,
So,
no.
anyway,
Agreed. There's been times where I've gone into people's channels, and I don't know if you've done this, it's probably me being stupid. I go into someone's channel, and I start typing in their chat, only to realize they're hosting someone else. And so I'm literally typing to no one in the chat.
I've had that happen to me. I mean,
I've done that more than once.
I've rated people where they literally just entered their stream. I was like, no.
Oh, I do that all the time. Oh my god, all the time. I do that.
Yeah, you have to. Literally, you have to go to that person's like stream and like look for like 5 seconds and then be like, oh, okay, yeah, they're still streaming. Or I just look at the timestamp, like, oh, they've been streaming for like 1 hour. I'm pretty sure they're gonna stream for probably another couple
Yeah,
hours.
you should be okay.
You know, if they just started a stream, that's a good instance. If it's like 6 hours and 30 minutes, it's probably like, maybe they'll probably end their stream soon. I probably shouldn't. That's a good like estimate, to understand if there's.
I'm stealing that. I'm gonna
Sure,
use that
go ahead.
because I've never.
It's
I'm
all-
not.
yeah,
I'm not
just-
smart enough to think of that.
Just look at the timestamp. I don't know. I think I have a bunch of plugins. I have like 7TV, BitterTwitch.tv, all these. But basically, I'm sure it's a default Twitch thing, but it just says how long someone's streaming is on like the corner of the thumbnail. And it says like, oh, this person's been streaming for 2 hours and 36 minutes. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I probably was going to stream longer. So I should probably rate them. But anyways, on my next question here. Tell me the first time you got into VR chat, or a funny story you remember from your early adventures. So when you got into VR chat, whether you want to tell like a desktop story or when you got into VR and you got into this virtual world, is there anything that you remember from like 4 years ago that was like, I'm gonna, obviously spend the next 4 years playing this game,
The only thing that instantly I remember fondly is, do you remember VR chat weddings? Do you remember when everyone
Yes.
always used to get married in VR? This was
Absolutely.
like just the go-to, and there was like a marriage was like every week. There's sort of like a big marriage between X and Y. Oh my god, getting married was probably probably the big thing for me. I've done it a few times since then. I've been married like I lose count. I think four times I've been married.
Damn. Did you get divorced every time, or are you just like?
No.
Oh, you
No, sharing is caring, right?
Oh, yeah, multiple husbands. Hell yeah, let's go. Kind of reminds me of Dusty Dust Bunny. She married like 150 people or something, then divorced them all.
150?
I don't know. It's like-
Wow.
it's over
Can you
100.
imagine the divorce paperwork?
110.
Damn,
110.
that would have been messy. 110.
Yeah. She would marry someone.
I think once you break 100, it's kind of.
She would marry someone, and then like a day later, or maybe that same day, just divorce them. It was kind of like,
Wait, the biggest question would be why? Why
Why not? I don't
Did they have
know.
money? Or...
She says she has all the usernames on her
That could be
Excel
good
sheet,
tech.
so she kept the history. I don't know. I mean,
That's
at
so
this,
cool. That's probably a great memory to look back on as well.
I mean, while she was doing that, I was collecting waifus. So I mean, to each their own, right?
Do you still have the waifus as well?
I have a list of them, though most of them have either quit VR chat or moved on or whatever. But I have the list. It's in my Discord, just sitting there collecting little dust because it's just a list of names. Some of them still pop on once in a while,
that's
and
the
then
best.
some of them are like, "Hey man, what's going on, Rebel? Hey, do you remember me? I'm waifu number 276," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like,
So let me
"Huh?"
scroll through this list. Let me just...
Scroll for oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was that was an interesting time. Yeah.
Yeah, what a wedding that was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that one. No, actually, I only married one waifu. Actually, The rest of them I didn't marry.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's interesting you mentioned like how people have left VR chat or they've like moved on to other things. It's interesting that like the community in the face of VR chat has evolved and changed over the years with different people coming in and out as time goes on.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the original gang that I used to watch on stream and were as I got into Nags, I obviously started watching Twitch and watching like all of the other content creators. And your show was one example. Like a lot of those players aren't around anymore. I'd never see them like their content or their streams. Like the face of content creation in the game has changed over the years, and so have the people who are doing it. Yeah.
I agree, but also there are some old frogs that still exist, like Lolth Unlimited's been playing the
there
game
are,
for
yeah,
5 years.
absolutely.
So he's like the old man who's still around, with the memes. So I mean, some people still stick around, some people moved on. I don't blame anyone for moving on. Like, I know quite a few of my friends that were very successful doing VR chat, and they became a VTuber, or in this instance, when I was a part of Team 5, they moved on. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them moved on to doing GTA RP, like the No Pixel server that, the one with all the big people on it.
Yeah.
They moved on, and they're now very successful, and they do charities. Like one of my friends, Banana Brie, or most people call her Banana Bread, but anyway, she plays GTA No Pixel. I don't really talk to her anymore, but I do see her on Twitter that she's like doing charity events and raising all this money for charity, doing GTA. So I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, gamer, So, to each their own.
You're right. I think it's the interesting thing with content creation is I think it's quite hard to break out of VR chat into other like worlds if you're doing it on your own. I feel like if you've got a group and you can all transition, and I believe a lot of them did in that time, in those days. Like a few of them made the move and transition. Some into GTA RP, as you mentioned. I personally have you found this as well? Have you tried to variate your content, and it feels like it's hard to gain traction elsewhere from your roots if you start in VR chat? Like that's something I feel like, it's something I noticed quite a while ago.
It's the same for a lot of communities. Going back to GTA, for example, a lot of those people, let's just say, arguably, maybe they have 2,000. Sorry, I had to do the redeem. Some people have, let's just say, 2,000 viewers, right? Doing GTA. Let's just say that, right? As a GTA streamer, they'll play something else like Elden Ring, and they'll get like 200 viewers. So it's the same for any community. If you're known for doing one specific thing, and then you move on to a different category, very often you'll lose like more than 50% of your audience. That is pretty normal and average for just any streamer. However, some people break that norm and still have the same viewership. I think people that break that norm or stereotype is VTubers, because a lot of VTubers are variety streamers. I'm not talking about VR chat people. I'm talking about like people that play Apex Legends, and they play Crap Game, and then they play Elden Ring, and then they play some scary game, and they play Subnautica or whatever. Like some of those VTubers will have that consistency throughout whatever game they're playing, because people aren't there to really necessarily watch for the game. They're there to watch for the VTuber, for their personality, their quirks, their gimmicks, stuff like that. So I think some VTubers have that variety sense. For example, a non-VTuber would be like the big streamers, like someone like Lyric or Soda Poppin or Moon. Like those are people that are very successful. They're variety streamers, or Summit1G, but they've been around for like a decade, so it's a bit different.
Yeah. Summit's been around since like, was he around when it was Justin.tv before Amazon took over? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
He's been around a long time.
I know Soda Poppin was. But, again, if you actually look at those people's roots, every single one of them played a specific game. For Soda Poppin, it was World of Warcraft. For Summit1G, it was he was a pro player for Counter-Strike, or for CSGO or whatever.
Yep.
And that's how he got his start. If you watch someone like Moon, he got his start playing Overwatch, because his name was Moon OW. And then, who was the other one I said?
A gift for me.
Lyric.
So sweet.
Lyric, yeah.
He got his... Well, I think he was always a variety streamer, but he got a big boost doing Armored 2 DayZ. That was like literally a decade ago.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember when Daisy was popping off on Twitch. That was so long ago. I played it and I thought it sucked. I actually hated the game. I thought it was terrible.
I played it, but then it's like 4 hours of running in the forest like this.
Exactly. This is it. I was just,
And then
I was just like, oh my god, when do I shoot something?
And then you're just dead. And then it's just like, all right, you know, back to running
yeah,
simulator.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
That game was so terrible. I don't understand why it was so popular. I honestly don't get it.
Yo, Sharky, thanks for giving that sub to Puck. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's you know. So I would say some people start by doing one specific thing and then they mold into doing variety, or they just start by doing variety. I think it's definitely difficult. Since you mentioned Nag/Joey Bagels, obviously he was known purely for doing VR chat. Obviously, he's moved on from VR chat to become a variety streamer.
Yeah.
But I actually saw him when he quit VR chat, made the huge announcement and everything. He only had about 50 viewers on Twitch when he quit VR chat. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then now he has like 1,000.
Tanked. I remember this. Yeah.
Because he built a community that supports him regardless of what he's doing. And you know, that's what sometimes you might have to swallow that hard pill and be like, okay, I'm going to probably lose 90% of my viewers, but I want to do what makes me happy. And that's what he did. He didn't want to do VR chat anymore. He wanted to expand outside of VR chat, and he had to basically rebuild his community from scratch, but you can tell he's much happier now. So
yeah, I have a massive amount of respect for him for taking a massive risk and like doing what he wanted to do regardless of the consequences to his like viewer base or hit the followership that he previously had. And yeah, he absolutely tanked for making that decision, but he worked hard and he genuinely enjoyed what he was doing, and he's always had that personality to be an entertainer. So I kind of had a feeling it would work out for him, and you know, it's taken him years to get back to where he is now, but he is now, you know, doing what he loves and creating the content he always wanted to. And yeah, I massively respect that.
Yeah, honestly, I can say that for anybody else. Like, if someone wants to move on from VR chat, just know that maybe you might lose a portion of your community or audience, and you know, that's a tough pill to swallow. But sometimes, at the end of the day, just make sure you're doing it because you want to do it. You don't want someone to force you and be like, oh, you know, maybe you should try Apex. And you're like, well, I don't even like Apex. You know what I mean? Like, do it because you want to do it, not because someone told you to do it, you know?
Yeah. My housemate, my best friend, I live with my housemate now. I moved in with him a few months ago. He can't hear us, he's asleep. So it's fine. He mentioned you should do GTA RP. And I was like,
okay.
No. I was like, there is no way I'm going to do GTA RP. I think I'd be absolutely horrible at it because my ability to act or roleplay is just non-existent. I couldn't. I would suck so hard. But he was convinced that I should, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to do this because I know I wouldn't have enjoyed it. I would have absolutely hated it. So.
I gotcha. What is something you miss about VR chat when you first started playing that doesn't happen anymore? So something that used to happen 4 years ago that doesn't happen in 2022 in VR chat specifically.
I can imagine you've had this answer a few times. Public worlds were not as bad as they are now. I mean, public worlds were always chaos, let's be honest. When I first joined, I loved the chaos because it was all new to me, and this was like a whole new world, and everything was, the fact that you could talk and your mouth moved like blew my mind. You know, it was the simple things. Like,
okay,
it got me. I remember the day I saw someone lie down and I absolutely lost my mind. Like, really? You can lie down, like, yeah, it's like this concept was alien to me back in the day, going back like all these years. But I miss the friendships and the communities that were formed in public lobbies, and there was a massive lack of generally getting crashed and things like that. It was uncommon back then for me, in my personal opinion or experiences. It was uncommon to encounter the problems that you find today generally with public lobbies, where you can get crashed, or there's a lot of underage users. And there's obviously explicit words being used quite often. It was a lot different back in the day when I first started playing, and I used to spend all day, every day, hanging out in Publix, just like running around and enjoying the moment. And it was so much fun because everyone was on the same page. They all just wanted to enjoy it and vibe, and it made for a great atmosphere, but it's changed a lot in my opinion over the years.
No, I agree. Like you said, I've heard this answer a few times, so I completely agree. There's publics have changed, but as I always say, you can't really dwell in the past. I mean, you can think about nostalgic things and be like, hey, that was a fun time, but you can't really relive that memory. You can't really sort of, because you can try to do that, you can attempt to do it, but it's never going to be the same. It's the same thing. Like an argument I could say is like playing World of Warcraft Classic compared to when the game came out, 2004, whenever it came out. Like you can play the game as a classic version 15 years later, but it's not going to be exactly the same because you have knowledge, you have the internet, you have more access to like things. But 15 years ago, you didn't know how to like grind gear and what's the optimal way to min-max your character in WoW. It's the same thing for VR chat. The year is 2022.
Yeah.
4 years ago was a completely different experience. And just having a sword and being able to pull it out on your avatar, everyone's like, whoa, what the? Nowadays it's like, okay, whatever, dude. Where's the physics bones, dude? Where's where's the crazy 10-minute animation, dude? So... Yeah.
I miss the people who used to make like the animations. Do you remember those? Like they make like the global animations with particle effects and things, and they used to showcase them to everyone. I miss those. They were so cool. I used to be friends with some of them. I think there was the LAS, the Legendary Animation. I think it was Legendary Animation Squad. Yeah, things like that. I miss those communities. They were great. But like you said, you can't dwell on the past, and you have to enjoy what we have now. And some of the public worlds I've seen are absolutely amazing. I recently have tried to spend a bit more time in pubs, and I have found some where there's really, really nice people who are just chilling out. They're enjoying themselves, and they're really friendly. And they're not, you're not getting spammed by people, and there's not memes going off in the background. So there are still some good public lobbies around, and there are still good people in them. And there are some players who are dedicated to always playing in public lobbies. They will never, do the private thing that a lot of us do. I mean, I'm guilty of this. I spend almost all my time on Orange. But yeah, there is like a community and a world inside the publics exclusively, but they're just hard to find. They're few and far between. But when you find them, it's lovely. It is a blast of the past.
Oh, I agree. Like, I don't really go to Publix anymore, but if I did, I feel like there are sort of like gold. There are people out there. It's kind of like.
It's that
you have to dig through literal crap for like 5 hours to find like one decent human being.
It's literally I was gonna say.
And to me, time is everything. And sometimes I don't have 5 hours to sort of sift through and literally dig to find one decent human being. So, and I don't blame anyone for going to privates, because at the end of the day, would you rather spend 5 hours on a mediocre, maybe I'll have a good time, or would you rather just go to a private lobby and go with your friends that you've made for the last 2 or 3 years that you know that you're going to have a good time? And most people are going to go with their friends, right?
Yeah, it's the security.
It's the same thing in real life. Do I want to hang out with my friends and go to my friend's house? Or do it be I go to like a random bar and I randomly talk to strangers to then hopefully make one of them my friends in real life? That's the comparison. At least, hopefully, the analogy makes sense.
Yeah, agreed.
So, yeah,
it's
a choice, So
I feel like the hardest thing is when you're new to this game and all you know are public lobbies. It's hard to break into the groups who are always hidden behind private worlds.
Yeah,
if you see what I mean.
Absolutely.
But you can understand why they're there. So it's like it's a catch-22 where there are communities who avoid public lobbies because of the issues with them. But at the same time, we're creating a barrier for new creators and new players to come into the game and find communities that they can hang out with. That it makes it a lot harder for people. And I feel like we potentially have lost some amazing people from the game before they've even given it a spin. Like they've installed it, they've played the game, they haven't enjoyed it because of the bad experiences they've had in Publix, and they've put it down and never come back. And they could have been some of the most interesting people that we'll never know would have been involved in this community. And I've literally had people who have tried this, had that experience, and then a year later have come back and tried again, and they've got lucky, they found a community, and they've become a staple in the communities from it. So I know firsthand that this actually happens, and it's really sad that we have a social game where there's kind of like an entry point which is very hard to reach before you can be a part of it. I find that it's very, very frustrating, but there's no answer. There's no way to make this not the way it is right now. I can't think of a solution to this, but it is a problem.
There is a solution that's already being developed to sort of alleviate this. Something I've talked about dozens and dozens of times. Maybe it'd be the first time you've heard about it. I'm not sure, but
it is my bad.
So basically, it's the solution is not perfect. It may not solve every single case, but it may alleviate some of it. And that is basically at the dev stream, which was like a year ago at this point, a year and a half ago, or whatever it was. Essentially, they teased this idea called the group system, which is basically kind of like a guild, like a World of Warcraft guild, but in VR chat.
I remember this. Yeah, this was ages ago. Yeah.
So
I remember they mentioned something about this.
And then last year they said that it's going to come out this year at some point. I mean, it's June now, so I don't know. Whatever. Point is, when it comes out, the idea, in short layman terms, is basically anybody can build a group, and the idea behind these groups is that you can also make public groups. So you could literally make a group called New Players, and then basically you join this group to meet other new players, and maybe one of those players that runs this specific group is a veteran of the game and then helps out new players. That way you're now joining a group / Discord where it's for new players. Or a better example would be like for a role play group. Let's say you want to join a role play, you join that group in VR chat, and that's how you get into the role play. Or another option is joining a club. Let's say, just for example, let's just say like FBT Heaven or Void Club, they have a group and it's public, and you join that group in the game, and then that's how you go to those clubs, like more, not like a public version of it, but you know what I mean? Like it's like a Friends Plus lobby, or like maybe a Vite Plus. So like you have to be in that group sort of guild to get into. It's kind of like an entry barrier, so not like randoms and crashers show up. And then that way you can find decent human beings rather than going to a public and then sort of playing the lottery and playing bingo and trying to figure out.
It is bingo. Sometimes I love doing that though. Sometimes I just love watching chaos unfold between, like literally, I would just join a world and I would just stand there and watch the chaos unfold before me, and it's really fun to watch. I don't know why. Sometimes it's just a guilty pleasure of mine. I like watching carnage.
No, I gotcha. So until that update comes out, because I think it's going to drastically, change VR chat. Some people may be very against it, be like, oh, this is segregation. Or some people are like, wow, what if someone makes a private, streamer group where only the cool streamers are allowed in, and you have to be in the cool streamer group to be
I'm out. I'm definitely out.
So, there's always going to be positive and negatives towards this. But, I mean, there is a way to sort of get into this early. And what I mean by that is, if you didn't know, I'm 99% sure on the VRChat main Discord, there's a subcategory for just communities where you can just join existing Discords, like the Void Club or whatever. And that could be a way for you to join an existing group before the group system even comes out. So you know what I mean? Like if you're struggling to find friends, you're like, hey guys, I just got my Quest 2. Yo, what the hell, man? Everybody's racist. Yo, where's the cool? What the hell? And then I'd be like, okay, go to the Discord and then go to the community tab and then look for a community and be like, yeah, I really like Star Wars, so I'll join the Star Wars VR chat Discord. And be like, yeah, I really like Hogwarts too. I love Harry Potter, dude. So then you join the Harry Potter VR chat Discord and you're like, I want to club and go to some clubs, man. I'll join the Shelter Discord, the Void Club, FBT Heaven, man. You know what I mean? That's what I would tell people. That's what I always tell people. If they're new to the game, I say just go to these like Discords and join them, and 99% of the time you're gonna have a better time doing that than spending 10 hours in a public and doing this. I'm like, where's the people at? Why is everyone racist? What's happening? So
why is everyone 12?
Why is everyone underage. What the fuck? You know, you get what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny because I tell this advice all the time on my stream, and then people come back and they'll be like, "Hey, I took your advice and I actually have some friends now. Like, that actually worked." I was like, you know, I'm just saying, you know, it works, dog.
Aww.
So.
I'm gonna use it. I don't usually meet people who are new to the game and getting into it, but that's really cool info. Actually, I didn't know that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, just
I
use
might
Discord.
if I find someone.
Just join. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen it. It's literally like a subcategory in the main VR chat Discord is like sort of like a place where it advertises other Discords within VR chat. They obviously have to be approved. They can't be some like, you know, I don't think anything AT plus is allowed, but obviously just like normal Discords usually.
Of course, yeah.
Or my other option is go to like something like VRCon and then just looking for the booths. Like every single booth is a different community. It'd be like SCP
yeah, that's
community,
a great idea, actually.
or
yeah.
whatever RP, and you're like, cool, and they'll have their Discord. You just type it in, and boom, there you go, and be like, hey, I'm new here. I'm new to VR chat. I'm sure half of those people in those Discords are decent people. They'll like, help you out, or be like, hey, you really like SCP too? Hey, we're gonna do an SCP RP. You want to join? And there you go. You just made like 10 friends. Boom.
Yeah, I never really thought of it that way, but then again, I'm stupid, so
I guess it's got a big brain.
It's bigger than mine, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I tell people at least. Anyway, moving on here. How did you create your OC, your character? You know, obviously before, back in the olden days, you were VRC Bunny, and now you're VRC Puck, or better known as Puck. So I'm curious how you came up with being a bunny boy.
So the origins of me being called Bunny or being known as a bunny goes back about 14 years, 15 years, something like that.
Whoa!
To cut a long story short, I lost a bet, and I used to hang out with a group of people in an arcade every weekend in central London. We used to go to Funland, which was Europe's largest arcade at the time. It closed down in like 2010, 11, 12, somewhere around there. But yeah, it's sort of like, this is 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. So a good few years ago. And I knew someone who worked in an anime shop. And I wanted some free stuff from the anime shop. Me being young and being like, gimme, and having no money, I was like, I'll make you a bet. If you can hit, I think it was like 700 or something on a punching machine in the arcade straight after work, you can do anything you want. If I win, I want some free stuff from the shop. And like, when I see free stuff in the shop, he would literally just, you know, just put it in a bag.
Yo, let's go, dude. That's a homie, dude.
Best employee.
Best
employee. I mean, he used to give us freebies on the regular.
Yeah. That was that's like the equivalent of you work at like fast food and then someone gives you those extra fries in the bag. Anyone that does that is a homie, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I had a friend who got fired after one day.
Really? For doing that?
He worked at McDonald's. Literally, first day on the job, we all roll up. He literally just hands us bags of food over the counter. We just leave.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I mean, the people I knew, the people I did that, they would just give you a few extra fries, you know, in the baggie, you know.
Oh yeah, no, he immediately got fired. He didn't make it through his first day.
Damn, bro. It's like, these are my homies, dude. Want some Big Macs? Want some Big Macs, bro? Want a large fry, dude? Want a milkshake, bro?
Literally.
What the fuck?
It was like, it was just like the feeding of the 5,000. And he's just handing over all these bags from the back, and like the staff are looking at him and they're looking at us, and we're just like, oh, we're just being so, we don't know him. Gives us some food. We just walk out, and then like a couple of hours he rings us. He goes like, "Yeah, I got fired." Just like rolling around.
I mean, I believe it.
Good times. Good times. Oh god, good memories. But anyway, go back to how I got my name. So we close up the shop. We go into the arcade. £1, 3 punches. And you know, I'm gonna call him A because his name starts with an A.
Okay.
So A goes into the arcade, pound him, 3 punches, and A's not a athletic guy. Let's say A's got a bit of additional debuffs. We'll say.
Oh, debuffs. That's what I like to say. I have debuffs.
He's packing those movement slows, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, not the most athletic guy in the world. So
Okay.
I'm thinking this one's in the bag. I'm getting some freebies tomorrow. So he has his first punch, and he's just like, yeah, and I'm just like, it's pathetic. I'm like, it's not even close. He gets like 200 points out of like 700 that he needs. The max is like, I think, at 999 on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this one's in the bag. So he has his second punch and he runs up. This time, well, I say run. It's more of a accelerated jog.
Yeah.
He whacks it again. And he kind of gets like sort of 500 something. And I was like, okay, that was a bit close. That's a bit close to comfort. But it's fine. One more and we're done. He's probably tired by now. His last turn, I think he just got lucky and the machine misread it. But he just twonked it from standing. He didn't even run up. And he got like 780 or something. Like he got considerably over the requirement. I was like, there was no way he hit that any harder than the last two times. So he just looks at me with this like smug ass look. I'll never forget this moment for the rest of my life. And he just crosses his hands and he just looks at me and goes, I'm going to call you Bunny. And there was just no reference to anything. It had no meaning or purpose. There was no reason of all of the things he could have ever have asked me to do or want to call me Bunny. So I was just like, okay, then cool. I'll see you next week. I turn up at the arcade the next week. I haven't spoken to anyone about this. Everyone's like, hi, Bunny. How you doing, Bunny? What's up, Bunny? And I'm just like, fucking you did this. He just let out this maniacal laugh. I'll never forget it. And the name stuck. People would introduce me to their friends as Bunny. My real name lost any and all meaning. No one would ever know it. And people just knew me as Bunny. And to keep like homage to the memories and the experiences and the friends I had in those times, and they kind of molded me into the person I am today. I've always kept that name. So people have always known me by Bunny, and the only people who call me by my real name are work colleagues or my immediate family. That's it. So everyone calls me Bunny, and to this day I'm still called Bunny. So yeah, that's where Bunny came from.
Well, I call you Puck now, so I guess
it's
it's a new name.
Yeah. So yeah, people also can call me Puck, but I don't mind either name because my nickname is still Bunny, and I will always be known as Bunny to a lot of my old friends. And yeah, people can call me either or. I never take any offense. People have been worried that they have to call me Puck. I'm like, no, you're fine. Call me whatever you want. If you call me Bunners, Stinky Bun Boy, whatever takes your fancy, I'm totally cool with that. But yeah, the name Bunny will always be my nickname and will always be with me, and I will always be a bunny. I will never ever change that. But the name Puck was just, I wanted some identity because there are like a bajillion bunny VTubers. There were so many of us. Like, just like bunnies, we multiplied. There's thousands. And I just wanted something that gave me, you know, my own individuality. And I randomly fell in love with the name Puck. I don't know how or why this happened. It was just impromptu in the moment. And over the next few months, I thought about it. I was like, this is right for me. I want to make this change. And I think if I do the change slowly, the community and my friends will be okay with it. And so over the next few months, we slowly integrated into Puck, and then Twitch changed my name, and that was it. I became Puck.
Damn.
And I've never been happier. I love the name.
I wish I could change my name to Rebel, but apparently the name Rebel's been permanently banned for 10 years.
No, yeah, you can't change to a band name. Yeah, I think that happened to someone else who requested, which is why I knew about that. That sucks. Like, like if they're banned, why should they have any rights to the account anyway? I mean, it's gone. But
listen, I'll just become a big streamer, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you have 100,000 viewers."
Let me just click those couple of buttons I could have done a long time ago.
Exactly.
Click, there you go. Fine.
I know they can do it. I mean,
feel like it's not as hard as... Yeah, they can. They absolutely can.
XQC was XQCOW,
Twitch, we know.
And his name... And you're not supposed to have a 3-letter name, but his name is now XQC, which is 3 letters.
Yeah. It's one rule for one person and one rule for another. It's just like any hierarchy or any social structure. The people at the top with all the power and all of the money get to, you know, bend the rules, and the average Joe gets nothing.
Yeah,
That's how that works.
True. Maybe one of these
you fall
days,
in line.
One of these days when I'm the tip of the top of the Mount Everest, I'll be like, all right, can I have the name Rebel? And they'll be like, Okay, we'll give it to you. And I'll be like,
I'm gonna be showing my
"Yes."
friends. I'll be like, look, I was on a show with him once. I was on a show with him. I know him.
Yeah. Absolutely. My next question is, how did you end up getting into doing interviews and running your show, What the Puck? So how did that initially come about? What's the full story there?
Oh, okay. So this was a complete accident. This was never planned. So I was literally just doing a stream like any other day, and we just randomly end up doing impromptu stupid stuff on my stream. And for some reason, I was like, hey, I was speaking to chat and I was pretending to interview them on the chat. And then I was like, guys, should we just head over to a chat world, and you can literally just come on the chat world and talk to me right now if you're in chat. And like loads of people came on, and it was just this stupid impromptu thing. We had people on for like 5 minutes. We're like, hi, who are you? Oh, it's been great to meet you. Cool, see you later. It was just ridiculous, but people loved it, and they were like, you should do this more. And I was just like, you're making a terrible mistake. But I looked into it more seriously at that point when so many people were interested in it, and people were like, oh, I'd love for you to actually interview me. And I was like, I'm not sure I'm cut out for this, you know. I've never been known as someone who is in charge of a situation. I am a sub for I take direction, I don't give it, you know. So we looked into it a bit more seriously, and then using an existing public show world, we did it. I think. Oh, how did this? When were you on the show? I think it was just before New Year's, wasn't it? It was in
right.
just before. It was in Christmas or just before Christmas, somewhere around there. We did like a pilot episode, like a tester episode, to see if this actually has any like basis to it. If this is something people genuinely want, or if this is just like a stupid thing that won't work. And people absolutely loved it, and that kind of solidified it. And I wanted to make sure that the first pilot episode was people who are either friends of mine or, you know, are influential in that kind of field, such as yourself. And you were my special guest on that first episode. Yeah. You were like the final guest, and the final guest was always kind of like, quote unquote, kind of like a special guest, so to speak.
I'm very special.
And yeah. People call me special too, but I'm not sure for the right reasons.
My parents always said I was very special growing up. As they're very, very special indeed. So I always take that, you know. I'm like, thank you. I'm different. I think I finally know what they mean.
You just built it.
I'm just built differently.
I'm not like the rest of you.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of that meme now.
Oh, you watched that Poke video he made called Built Differently? I'm built differently. I'm built. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen that.
Oh
no.
my god, you need to listen to that.
I'm gonna have to look this
He made a rap called
I'm
built differently. I'm built differently. Just look it up. It's very funny.
That would be so cool. So yeah, we did like the pilot episode just to make sure, am I being stupid, or is this actually a thing that people want to do? Because I knew you were doing your show, and like, you know, there were other smaller content creators who were doing their own individual shows as well. I was like, is there a place for this when there's already so much that covers it with what you've done? I mean, being your 278th guest, for example, that kind of says, you know, you've been around and you've spoken to like hundreds and hundreds of people you've spoken to at this point. And you know, I didn't think that this was something that people actually wanted, but it was just a huge success. So I was like, okay, we'll have season 1. And the first day of applications, we had like over 100 applications for the show, and I was just like,
damn,
what have I done? I had a meltdown because I was like, this has not gone to plan.
Yeah.
So we worked through the backlog, and we dealt with all of the, and like I did it all myself. Like I went through every single application individually, had to look at their content, and because it's a show for small creators, like the prerequisites or requirements are like almost non-existent. So basically like 95% qualified for the show. So I was like, oh, this is a problem. Like, and when we did it with you, we had 8 guests on the show, didn't we? We quickly found out that that's just not enough time. There's not enough time for each guest. We need to spread this out. But there's so many people who want to be on the show that it's just going to backlog people for months. So what do we do? So we took the executive decision to reduce it to 6 guests an episode, and then cut it off with 12 episodes for season 1. and then come back for season 2, which is where we're about to come now. So yeah, the end of next month we'll be there. But yeah, it was just like a complete random impromptu moment that just turned out to be a huge success, which I just didn't expect. It was all just massively coincidental.
I mean, sometimes, you know, the greatest ideas happen when you least expect, you know, when you're taking a shower or on the toilet.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Totally. I
So,
completely agree. Like, if you told me but at the end of last year I was going to be hosting a talk show, I would have been like, why? Like, there's no point. I'm not a talk show host. And, like, I'm, like, completely disorganized and unprepared. Like, you're organized. You have an amazing studio. You have everything set up very, very professionally. I just turn up and I have no idea what I'm going to talk to you about or the questions I'm going to ask.
really?
Yeah, I asked for a little bit of info about you. Like, if there's something you specifically want to talk about, then we can. But generally, I don't have a set list of questions for any guest. It's just an impromptu, random conversation about whatever happens, and we had some really random conversations on
I
the
mean,
show.
sometimes I would
Oh,
say
God.
do whatever works best for you. Me, I have to be very structured and very organized. If I do anything that's impromptu and like really random, it either goes really well or really bad. So I don't like to take those chances. So I like to be very particular with everything. Like I'm almost like a perfectionist where I'm like, everything has to be done right. Like even just yesterday, I was getting this world updated to adjust the voice volume for amplification, like when we talk and everyone in the audience can hear us. I was very
Yeah,
particular. Some people are like, dude, why you like care so much? I was like, I care because I want to have a good show. I want to have a good
Yeah,
standard.
no,
of-
I respect that.
yeah, like,
I know exactly what you mean.
it may seem meticulous and you know wasting a lot of time, but to me it matters. It's just important to me to spend
Yeah,
the time.
no, I appreciate
you
that.
know. Every little detail matters. Everything matters to me. First impressions matter. Everything matters. I don't take any chances. I don't just wing it and be like, well, I guess the show will go well. I don't know, because you never know. Maybe the person
That's literally me.
maybe the person didn't enjoy it, and then they'd be like, yeah, screw that guy and his talk show. I mean, that sucked. That was terrible. And I don't want someone to you know, have that, you know, opinion. So I always try to make it the best show ever. Like you know, it's like
Of course, yeah. You want to upkeep what you've created, and you want to keep like the esteem that you have about what you do. And damn, it is really well structured. Like I'm just like, I can't imagine or fathom me being this disorganized and like structured with anything I do, especially this. Like, this is so professional. I was a little, I'll be honest, I was a little bit nervous when I came on. I was like, oh god, this is way professional.
You got to put your big boy pants on when you come here, you know.
I literally, yeah, I had to actually put my big boy pants on.
They're like, oh, this is the big leagues, you know. This is where we're going AAA, you know. Big
This
studio.
is this is like the tippity top. This is like I don't think there is a VR talk show that is bigger than this. I think this is the top.
I don't want to
As far as I know,
I don't want
anyway.
to toot my own horn, but currently,
TT.
yeah. But in the future, I know some friends of mine that are building their own studios, and it is a lot more bigger than this one. Let's just say they're trying to fill like 1,000 people in a room or something. And I was just like, you know, you can only fit like 60
What?
in the world.
I was
own,
about
though.
to say this is going to end terribly.
Hey man, they're gonna learn.
I
They're
wish
gonna
them luck,
learn.
whoever
They're
they
they're
are.
gonna learn. They're gonna be like, why do we have 500 seats but only like 20 people actually show up?
It will be chaos. I would love to see 500 people or 1,000 people in a world.
Me too. I want to see.
That would
I,
be the funniest
I
thing.
want to go to a club and have like 100 people, 200 people in a club, because that'd be sick. Because every time I go to a club, it's like 30 people.
Oh,
and
that would
it's-
be so cool.
you kind of can feel it, but not really. But when you're at like, you know what I mean? Like, think of it going to a concert and you're listening to like Metallica or something like that, and there's like 10,000 people going like, yeah, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see that in VR chat. I want to see like just a sea of people and not lag. But that's too much to ask for in VR chat. So
Yeah. We currently don't have the tech. I think eventually we will get to a point where we will have all the things that we hope we will have now, like 100-man lobbies and things like that. I mean, technically it's possible, but it's just very basic if you do it. Like I know there's some singing shows or talent shows, I'm not exactly what they're called, where everyone has like a completely like basic blank like avatar, which is almost made of nothing. You're
like
basically just a blob of existence. And that can hold like 60-70 people. It still struggles, but it works. But the thing is, it's not the interaction or the atmosphere that you would normally have, like me and you sitting on a sofa. Can you imagine if we were two pixelated blobs trying to have this conversation? Like, it just wouldn't be the same.
Exactly.
It just wouldn't be the same experience. So, yeah, I think we'll get there eventually. Also, obviously, technology is advancing and processors are getting faster and faster. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time, but it's going to take a while. I think, like, literally years and years while, but we'll get there.
Or a difference on the standard of avatars, because most people in VR chat just don't care for optimization. They're like, yeah, my avatar has like 234 materials, 1 million polygons, 700 dynamic bones, now physics bones. Yeah, I could just do it, like every hair strand moves. And you're probably just like foaming from the mouth being like, why? But they were like, well, who's going to stop me? Because I can do that, So, like, until the standard is set, like, for example, I have a standard for this world, and that is to be in the audience, they actually have a good or better avatar. So I set that standard. But that's not a standard.
Requirement. I'm so sorry.
No. That's for audience, or sorry, for a guest, they're exempt from the rule because you have to use your own OC, and I can't expect everyone to optimize their
some
OC.
of them don't have a
but for the audience it is required, because maybe one day I'll have 40 people sitting there and I don't want to have 5 FPS.
If you look to the right, you wouldn't want yourself or your guest to just tank, would you? So that makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
That's so cool. You even have a camera that looks at the audience.
I have many cameras. I got cameras everywhere. It's just I only use a fraction of my power. My true power is not unlocked yet.
I'm literally just watching it fly around. This is so cool.
There's so cool. That's just the tip. Like, I got way more powers than that. Way more. I got. This is not even my final form. This is just 1% of my powers.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, we even got you can also track you as a player. So now this camera specifically is tracking you. We can zoom it in and zoom it out. Advanced technology. Yeah. Whoa! Super hyper zoom in. Yeah. Hey.
I like your avatar, by the way. You had this done what, last year? Your avatar? This is like kind of new.
OC. My OC is 3 years old.
Yeah. Your OC got changed as well. Is it 3 years old now? When was this model made for you though? Because this is an upgraded model, isn't it? I think.
So. Yeah. My base is the same for 3 years, but what's different is the outfits, which is attached to the base. So this outfit, I'm pretty sure it was last year. Yeah, like somewhere in July, August is when I got this specific outfit. I can't remember the exact date unless I look up the receipts. But yeah, somewhere around here is when I got this specific outfit because I wanted a new look for my interviewer outfit. My old one was a black suit, like pinstripe, and like a scarf. And that was my old interviewer.
I think I remember that. Yeah,
that was my old interviewer outfit. I used that one for a good year or so. But that outfit actually is not an original concept because it actually was just what's her name? It's a League of Legends skin, but I just had it recreated in VR chat.
I never played League of Legends.
That's her name.
No idea.
If you look up League of Legends Fiora Headmistress, it's exactly the same. And then that guy's grabbing the doll. Yeah, the dolls. They're there.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, it's on the doll. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. I have absolutely seen that before.
Yeah. So, that was the old outfit, and then the one next to it is my newer version, which is an OC, like original concept. So that's the difference between the two.
Can I keep this as a souvenir? Like, can I take this home? Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna make them kiss Ken. It's fine. They go. Mwah, mwah.
I gotcha. Do you have any future plans for What the Puck?
Yeah. So season 2, I haven't revealed any of the guests officially.
Okay.
But we are doing groups. So we're gonna have 2 episodes, episode 6 and 12. It's gonna be another 12-episode season. Where we will have 2 episodes dedicated to communities or groups. So we will have up to, some of these groups are like 12 people, 12, 13 people are going to turn up for their segment. And some of them are dance groups who are part of the dancing community in VR chat, and they're going to be talking to people about what they do, how to get into contact with them, how to get into the dancing community, the classes that they teach, those sorts of things. So it gives them some exposure to get the word out about the dancing community in VR chat. We have some conventions coming on as well. We need to confirm all the details with them. But it will also be a platform where they can talk to us about what goes on behind the scenes with VR conventions and how they work and the complexities in running them. And potentially they may need staff, and they'll be like, if you want to be a golfer, then you can get information here, you know, and become part of that community as well. So it's something that we didn't give any exposure to in season 1. But it's something that was greatly sought after from the feedback. People wanted to see group stuff and stuff that relates to communities, because you mentioned you're part of, I think it's Neon Divide, was it?
Correct.
That you're part of?
Yeah.
Yeah, Neon Divide. So you're part of Neon Divide. What if we spoke to Neon Divide and gave people an overview of who they are, what they represent, what they do, and how to get into that community? And that's something that people really wanted to find out more about. So yeah, we wanted to add 2 episodes, and I think we've got really good group lineups for those episodes. So I don't want to spoil who is coming, except for a dance group, but that's it. So that's all I'm gonna say for the
Okay.
moment.
All right. Something to
But
look
yeah,
forward to.
it should be really interesting. Yeah. I think it adds a new element to it as well. So it keeps it fresh. It changes up what we were doing in season 1.
That's nice. I look forward to it. Maybe I'll pop in and be like, oh, I know that person.
Please do. Yeah. Yeah, it could be interesting. Yeah. I mean, obviously with that many people, if there's like 12 or 13 people in the studio at once, it's going to be absolute chaos, and we have no idea how we're going to deal with that. But we're literally, like I did with season 1, we're going to wing it and hope for the best.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
believe it. I mean, I've dealt with chaos many times in this own show, so.
Is there any like singly defining moment where something went like tragically wrong for you during a show? Do you remember a moment?
I have various examples, some degrees of varying upsets. I think a minor one, just to prove a point, is I was doing a mute podcast, which is mutes of VR chat basically, and they would talk about their experience. And they're thinking,
Yeah.
they're mute, they can't talk. But essentially, what I did was I just used the Discord DM group chat, and then I just displayed it on my OBS, and then it was there. However, when I was doing that, well, I think it was the X. Sorry, not the mute. I think it was the X Mute podcast. One of the X Mutes who was a mute, and now they're a talker. Maybe it was me. I can't remember. Anyway, point was one person. So before this world had Udon in it, the cameras was controlled by a tablet that anyone can grab, any player. It didn't matter if it was me or whoever, right? And normally nobody would touch this. But one of the people decided on the podcast, I'm just gonna screw this up. So they yoink it, and then they just start pressing all the buttons, and like the camera's going like, zzz, and like random sound effects. I'm just sitting there like, God help me. I learned a valuable lesson that day. Then I made it so only whitelisted players like myself can touch it. So 0% chance that happens.
Yeah, that's probably a good shout. We didn't do that. So all the cameras are literally for the studio. We made the mistake of putting the buttons for the camera literally here between where you are and I am right now. So when any guest would look at me, they would have all of these buttons in front of their face, and it was the most off-putting thing in the world for them. It's like so
Those
many
buttons.
people would say to me, like, I can't even see you. Like after the show, they'd be like, I couldn't even see you because there's all these buttons. And if you watch closely, there'll be times where you'll slowly see me like lean so that
Hey,
I'm
how you
like
doing?
looking at them out the side. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd literally
yeah.
go like this. Be like, hi, Rebel, hi, how's it going? Just slightly lean over so they could see me. It was so-
I mean,
yeah, we got to fix
that's
that.
that's when I had my first studio, which I made 2.5 years ago. That's basically how I ran it, but it wasn't like in my face. It was invisible buttons. So imagine I was sitting here and you're sitting there, and then there's like 3 buttons that are invisible right here. And this is how I did. It would be like host,
Yeah.
guest, host, and guest. So I would have to be like this while talking to you. And then
I
sometimes
remember
I'll
watching you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
watching your hand
And
go
then-
like this.
and
Just
then
like,
I'll-
yeah, I
yeah, and
totally
then
remember seeing that.
and then I would like screw up. I'm like, oh, damn it, wrong camera. That's how it was. But you know, I learned to change and get an actual camera person, and then they control the cameras, and I just focus on talking to you. Yeah, you know. So that's what.
Yeah, I found having Yogi as my backstage organizer was a huge help in season 1. Like it just wouldn't have worked without them. So we had the TV screen, and all of like the guests would sometimes have a video they wanted us to play to showcase kind of their work to the viewers. He would control that for me, so I didn't have to run around and like input links and stuff while I'm trying to talk to my guests, and it just made everything so much smoother. So yeah, the unsung heroes are the people behind the cameras sometimes.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I just don't tell him because he would just go on an ego trip if he
Oh, yeah,
knew
true,
that I
true.
needed him so much.
I believe it. But yeah, I just learned a lot. Like obviously, you're newer to doing interviews, so obviously you don't have the experience that I have. But
Oh yeah, I'm
You-
so inexperienced.
but you know,
yeah.
even just watching and being part of the show, maybe you'll learn something. Like, hey, Rebel did that. Maybe I should do something like that. You know, I'll learn something.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way I'll ever have a production that's as professional as this. That's for sure. This is way too advanced for me.
Oh, well,
But it's absolutely beautiful.
sometimes the simple things
This is
what
kind
works.
of
you
like
know?
the peak.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I think sweet and simple is the best way to do it because, like with any guest, we don't sit down for like super long and have like a really long discussion. I think my longest guest, and that's because we overran by like an hour, was Flair, and Flair was on for about like 70, 80 minutes, which, you know, it was meant to be 30.
Oh my.
But he was the last guest, so I was just like, wow, if we overrun, it doesn't matter. And it was really interesting because we got into some really serious conversations, and we also had some really stupid ones as well. So it was just like a really interesting interview.
The
Yeah,
longest
Flair was lovely.
that I did was 4 hours, 4.5, I think.
Holy hell, who was that with?
It was with I don't know like who's the longest, but there's a few names. So, one of them was Stelfar GAK Chips. We went for like 4 hours or so.
Oh my god, I remember when they used to stream VR chat. That's going back years.
Well, they still do. They just do Ascension Academy. They do their RP thing, the Hogwarts RP, you know. Yeah, so they do that
I
stuff.
actually haven't seen their channel in years. But they're kind of US, aren't they? Like kind of like
Yeah,
yourself. So
yeah.
I'm usually asleep by now. So
Yeah,
this is bedtime for me.
Yeah. I mean, you can always check out the VODs, and they're like doing Harry Potter things or like magic things, and you know, it's just what it is. And then the other person was Buff Pup. That was a VTuber interview, not in VR chat.
Oh my god,
That was about 4 hours or so.
yeah, Buff Pup.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Buff Pup's Buff Pup's huge now. I think great
Oh,
friends
yeah.
with Rose Doodle. I
When
believe. That
I
Buff Pup,
when I
yeah.
interviewed them, they probably had like 200 viewers. Now they have probably over 1,000 or so.
They have like what? Like, yeah, the way more. I think they're like 2,000 or something. I don't know. I don't actually watch them, but I know of them through Rose Doodle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's me. I'm just a baby streamer.
Yeah, so am I. But it's just it's the love of what you do. That's the most important
That's
thing.
right, have the
I mean, for you, is content creation like your income as well? Is it your job?
Yeah, this is my job,
Or is it
my
just
career.
like? Is it so you're doing something that you enjoy for a living, and
That's right.
we are in a very lucky position. I mean, it's very scary. It is scary to be like on this side of the content and be the creator, because you have the weight of consistently being interesting and you know, trying to pay the bills month by month. Is there's no certainty to it, which is incredibly scary. Unless you're a massive name and you're just like, you know, like 1,000 viewers and stuff. There's never any like real security to what you do, and month by month you never know how you're gonna do, and it's a scary way to live. I personally like I make like very rash decisions and do silly things. But I genuinely feel like it's quite a scary world to live in right now, especially with the like inflation and everything costing more than it used to.
Oh, absolutely. Like
and Twitch taking so much of every sub.
Twitch,
Twitch, you owe me money.
Please don't ban me. But yeah, like being a streamer and doing it full time is very, very risky, because I didn't have a job before streaming, so I kind of just fell into it and got into a unique situation when I was in college. And you never know, maybe in a year, maybe it won't work out, maybe I'll go work at McDonald's. I don't know, you know. It is what it is. That's life for you. But I'm lucky to be where I am today, with the circumstances and the placement I'm in and all that stuff. However, some people are not so lucky. Some people, they'll get partnered on Twitch and then think, oh my god, I've made it, I'm going to be a big streamer, I'm going to be whatever. And that's not how it works. I've seen plenty of times where people get partnered, whether that's from VR chat, VTubing, doesn't matter what the context is, just getting partnered. And fast forward 6 months, and they went from 200 viewers when they got partnered to 10 viewers, and they're like essentially begging for money because they can't afford rent. They're like, holy fuck, I have to pay $2,000 in utilities and rent and my mortgage, and I have 2 kids and 3 wives or whatever. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm a bit exaggerating, but you know what I mean? Let's just say they had an apartment and it was like $1,000, they have to pay groceries and their, you know, gas and whatever. And then they're like, well, shit, you know, when I was partnered, I had enough and I was making, and now I'm making nothing, and I'm going to be homeless. Like, I've seen too many twitlongers about like, hey, I got partnered and I finally made it, guys. And then fast forward a year later, they're, you know, almost homeless, and it's very sad to see. But I always tell people, if you have an actual job, like before streaming, keep your job, please. Just trust me. Like, you never know, maybe in 2 years, maybe, you know, you're not going to be where you are today. Twitch is very a roller coaster, you know. Sometimes you get lucky and it just goes whoop, like a, you know, rocket ship, and some people you get to a point and then you just plateau and then shoot back down, or maybe you get to a point and it kind of just stagnates. It's very random.
I've literally seen it as well. Yeah. I mean, I did leave my job. I was quite a successful estate agent before I left to be a full-time content creator.
Okay.
But I had the security of if it doesn't work out, I can go back into my job. So I have a backup plan, and like it's just so important that if you do go down this road, you have an out, you have a backup plan. And if it doesn't work out, it's not going to be the end of the world. You can still go back to something you did before. So I have a great portfolio and resume as an estate agent. I was very successful as one. So I am massively employable in the field. I will never struggle to find work. So I knew that I could confidently make this decision. And if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to be financially destitute and homeless. I have a job that I can always, or an industry that I can always go back into. So yeah, I think that stability is very important. But I guess some people make the leap before they look at the bigger picture and go, what if in a year's time this doesn't work out? What am I going to do? You know? And sometimes they run into a dead end.
I think, well, for you, obviously, you've already worked, you had a job, you have a portfolio. I mean, like you said, you're 35. Most of the people I'm referring to are people like fresh out of high school. We're talking like the 18-year-olds who have never had a job before, or maybe they work like a retail job and then they get into streaming and they see that first like dopamine rush of like, oh my god, I got 300 viewers, I guess I made it now. Okay, mom, I'm going to quit my job at Walmart and I'm going to become a full-time streamer. And everyone's like, what? Their mom's going to be like, no, you don't. You're going to go to college and get a job like everybody else. They're like, no, mom, I'm going to become the next PewDiePie. And they're going to be like, who? What? You're crazy. You know, so.
Yeah. I'm like, ultimately, people are so quick, and I mean, I used to do this when I was a kid. I used to, think that my parents didn't want me to do what I wanted. It's not that. It's your parents don't want you to be in a position where you are, as we've mentioned, someone who can't afford to pay rent at the end of the month. They want to set you up and prepare you for life so that you have stability. And although sometimes you will disagree with that logic, in the long run, when you look back on those times, you'll go, oh, they were actually right. And I can openly admit, when I wanted to make some decisions, my parents were like, no, they were right. Like, I will admit that they were. But ultimately, you still have to chase your dreams, but you have to do it at a position where it's viable to chase your dream. You can't just jump into it irresponsibly.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%. Like your parents are the ones that raised you, and typically the ones that give you the most life advice. And, sometimes you may not listen to them, but maybe a couple years later, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, they are right, like you said. So, like, I went to college, and I was in college when COVID happened. Yeah, maybe I'll return, maybe, or if streaming works out. I have options, basically. Either I just work at a factory.
Yeah, you're not backed into a corner.
Yeah, so, or, maybe I'll just work a retail job. Like, it all depends. I don't know what the future holds. Right now, I'm fine, but you never know. Maybe in 2 years, maybe I'll be the next PewDiePie. Maybe I won't be. Maybe I'll be a homeless person. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Nah, you'll always be fine. The thing is, even if you end up going into a job where you have no, like, okay, so I reached a point in my life where I'd just run an anime store. I'd been running, so this is something people don't know. I used to run a company. I used to run my own anime shop. It was a physical anime shop that you could visit.
I love it.
It was called Quick Attack. I had my own online web store, and you could buy my stuff. And everything I stocked was 100% official merchandise, and that kind of killed me. The bootleg market kind of killed me in the industry, so I kind of called it quits after a couple of years. But during that time, oh god, where was I going with this? I always lose my train of thought. I'm terrible with these sorts of things. Oh god, what was I saying? What were we talking about before?
Job stability. Job stability.
Yeah.
Quitting your full-time job to become a streamer. And I was talking about specifically about young adults, people that don't understand life fully because they're literally just 18 or 19 or 20, and then they, quit their job and then become a streamer, and then they're like, oh shit, now I'm homeless or I'm barely making rent.
Oh, now I remember where I was going with this. Yeah, thank you, Bean. Yeah, I was running the shop, and then it didn't quite work out, and I was backed into a corner where I dropped out of university years before. I never finished uni. That was just through my own choice. I just didn't enjoy uni and what I was studying, and I knew I wouldn't do that as a career, so I stopped doing it. And I was in a dead end where I was sort of like, I don't know, I was like 26, 27 years old, had like basic retail experience, no like major education behind me, and a failed business in my back. I didn't lose money from the company, but by the end of like 2-3 years, I had made nothing. It kind of just ticked over infinitely. And yeah, it was, I've lost my train of thought again.
Talking about your business.
Oh, I'm so
Sorry,
bad.
I'm paying attention. So obviously you're talking about your game, your anime business, and how you were, the bootleg market was, outselling your actual authentic merch, and then that.
Oh yeah, that was it. I'm so stupid. Oh my god.
Yeah,
So
I'm paying attention.
It's because I go on side journeys through what I was saying, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and then that happened, and then that happened, and that happened, and I lose the initial train of thought. But yeah, basically, how do I explain this? It was like I didn't have a direction. I had nothing behind me, and I had no education. So I was like, what am I going to do? And then I literally Googled top 10 jobs that require no education.
Okay.
And estate agent was in there. And I was like, oh my god, estate agents make loads of money. I'm going to do that.
When you say estate
like, I can
agent,
talk to people all day.
do you mean like a real estate agent?
You would call them, yeah, like a
Okay.
real estate agent. You call them what do you call them? A real
estate. A realtor, yeah. You call them realtors.
A realtor? See, that's such a strange term to us. We never use that. It's like we just say we're estate agents.
That's just I'm Canadian, but that's just I guess
The Americans do that as well.
American.
So it's like an
yeah,
American-Canadian thing.
Yeah, North American thing.
It confused me originally. And like, all you need to do is be able to talk to people. That's the only job requirement. You don't need any experience. You don't need anything. And, you know, you can make a good living being an estate agent. So I went and did that, and I was very successful because I'm good at talking. Like,
you want this house?
I did viewings.
Here's give me mac and cheese and it's yours. Okay.
There was two sides to it. There was lettings, which is like rentals, and then buying. And I was on the buying side, and buying was hard because selling a property to someone is a damn sight harder than getting them to live there for a year. You know, it doesn't matter if there's a mold stain on the wall because they're only there for a year. They're not you know, buying it for the next 20, and they're not gonna have to fix it. You know, so it was a lot harder. If you were in rentals, all you did was open the door, and they would look around, and you go, "Do you want it or not?" Like,
you want it or not,
so
mate?
easy.
It's
But on
1500.
sales,
Okay.
oh god, it was so complicated. Like I had to learn the legal process for it as well. So I am now one of the most confident people in the country to buy a property. I just never will have the money. It's just so unaffordable.
I know the.
But yeah, it was great fun. I loved the job.
I know the job, or not the job. Sorry, the real estate business in the last couple of years, where I'm from in Canada, dude, the same house is now worth $700,000 when like 5 years ago the house would be 300,000. Like real estate agents,
Yep.
that commission, woo, they're making bank. You know?
The thing is, the estate agents make less than they used to. We don't make near as much as we used to. Like I would turn up to viewings in a Ford Focus, and people would literally joke, "Where's your BMW?" And I'd be like, "You are fondly mistaken, sir. We don't actually pay that sort of money." People used to, back in the like 90s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Like real estate agents would make anywhere from 50 to 80,000, even 100,000 pounds a year. But now, you know, you'll make almost half that. Like a good year for me would be like half that, and that was a good year. One year I was like top 10 for my region, and I didn't even make half of that. It was So although prices have gone up, competition in the market between estate agents has driven commission down. So we used to get like 3% commission on the price of a property.
Yeah.
Now you're lucky if it's 1%, and then you only get a cut of that 1%. So you'll get like 10% of that 1%. So it doesn't work as much. So if you sell a house for like $500,000, your commission's like £500. That's how that worked. Yeah, it's not the world people think it is anymore. It's not a massive industry where the ground soldiers make any money. We don't anymore. So even managers don't make near as much as they used to.
Damn.
So, but it's a stable living. You can live, and that's the most important thing. It's a hard job, and you work long hours, but it's fun. And you can be really nosy and walk around people's houses.
You could take your experience to the virtual VR land. You can now sell virtual properties.
Oh my god, I can't believe virtual property is a thing that people actually buy. It's like, it just makes me think of NFTs. Like, what is the point in this? It's crazy.
Mean? I'll buy you an apartment. This be like, hey guys, this is the Puck apartment. It's $200 a month. If you miss your rent, I'll delete it off your account. You know,
it's like didn't people used to do this in like Second Life?
Yes,
like you could
they still do that. They still do that.
Ada.
That's how they live.
Is Second Life still a thing?
Yeah.
Do people still play?
Yes.
Do people still play Second?
Not me. I never played it once, but yes, people do.
I've never played it even. No. I know it can't be streamed on Twitch. I don't know why. It got like banned for some reason.
Too many.
That's crazy.
Too many half-naked people running around and doing things. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, too many TOS
Okay,
things. Let's just say too many too many TOS violations. You load up the game and there's just someone with their fat donger, and you're just like, oh okay.
Yeah, that's. But I'm surprised that people didn't boycott streaming the game because they just get banned for streaming it. It's like.
Well, I think the game probably I think it got banned like 10 years ago, like way back in the day when
long time ago.
When Twitch was in its infancy. So that they probably just saw that and were like, yeah, fuck this game. It's not even a game, it's a social platform, and there's a half-naked people running around. So they probably just like, screw this. But you know, it's 2022, so now people are like, well, what about VR chat? Is that gonna get banned? It's like, no, they'll just ban the individual streamer, not the whole category.
Yeah, it's a different world now. Yeah, there was an argument. This did come up. Like, this is like a massive thing like a year or two ago. People were really worried that VR chat would be banned from Twitch, like just generically blanket banned.
Yep.
And lots of people were incredibly worried about this because for some people it's their livelihoods. I mean, technically it is my livelihood, but I mean, I vary stream, so it's not the end of the world with losing VR chat. But it's my home, and I would be gutted to see it go from Twitch. I still wouldn't leave. I'd still play the game and stay in the community though.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it won't
absolutely.
happen. It's never gonna get banned. There's no way that this game will leave the platform. Because, like you said, they just ban individuals now. They don't have to blanket ban a game. So
That's right. The only games that get banned nowadays off of Twitch are literally like hentai. Like if it's literally the sole
there's one called,
purpose.
like, Sakura or something.
Yeah, the Sakura series, very classic series, gamers. But anyway, yeah.
I like how you know.
I'm just a connoisseur, you know. I'm just well versed. I'm just up and coming, and I just know what's TOS. Like, you know, it's good to understand as a Twitch partner streamer to know what you can and cannot do, you know. But yes, most banned games are usually adult games, and then some gore games. Like, what was it called? Hatred? I can't remember what it was called. It came out years ago.
I don't know. I remember I looked at the list a long time ago, like many moons ago. I did look at the list. It's not very long.
Yeah,
it's not a very long list to be fair, but
one of them was called Hatred or something.
Is my tracker died? Am I okay? Yeah, I'm good. For one of tracker.
Oh no.
We good.
We're good.
We good. I charged everything before the.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So we should be fine.
So how did it, speaking of being partnered, how did it feel to get partnered on Twitch? Were you like super excited? Were you like, oh my god, what the heck?
I was very surprised. So the first time I applied for partner, I knew I wouldn't get it because I barely met the metrics and I'd never had a track history of the metrics before. So I was like, yeah, this is a go through. And it didn't, but they were like, but you're doing okay. Like, reapply in a couple of weeks. And I sent the rudest second.
Whoa! What the heck?
Because I didn't care. I actually wasn't that fussed about becoming a partner. And when it happened, I was like, oh my god. But at the time, I was like, oh whatever. So when I made my second application, I literally said, it was literally like a one-liner, something like, "Hi, you rejected my application like a month ago because my figures weren't good enough. Stats are good. Thanks." Like, it was just like really abrupt and rude. It was like, I was like, the next day I was like, that probably wasn't a smart idea. They're probably a little bit upset. Like, they review my application and they give it to me, and I was so confused because I just sent them this like really shirty one-liner saying, yeah, stats are good, thanks. You know, like I hadn't engaged or like talked to them professionally. I'd just been like, yeah, you rejected me last time, here you go. They gave me that. It was so good.
I mean, it took me 2 attempts to get partnered.
Yeah, I feel like failing the first time is a rite of passage and everyone goes through it. I think the most recent person I know who just failed the rite of passage is Riley DPS, I think it is. Riley DPS.
Yeah.
Or no, Kiwi Speedway. Kiwi Speedway. Yeah. Kiwi's blowing up at the moment. They're doing really well. They'll get it second time, definitely.
I mean, I know some people that failed like a dozen times.
What, 12 times? I think the most I heard of was 5 or 6. But yeah,
I've heard a lot.
I would lose my mind by that point.
I think it was Curry Games or something like that. I think he went a dozen, like 7, 8, maybe 9. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. It kept applying. It just kept going. Just kept applying. You know. I know that Lolathon took 4 or 5 attempts. If you didn't know that. So.
Yeah, I know Lola before they blew up into the big time. I'm not sure what happened with Lola. They like, I used to watch Lolathon when they had like 50 viewers, and then they over the course of like a couple of months they suddenly had thousands, and I was like, Huh? Like, what happened?
Oh, I know. I was
I
there.
have no idea what happened. They just
I was
exploded.
right. I was right there. I
Hmm.
was there. I was in the Discord, and he told me. Well, he didn't tell me like everything he did, but it was pretty obvious. He just started doing YouTube. So I met him when he had 2 viewers every day on Twitch because I had 5. That's how I knew. He was also part of the Team 5, which is the same team I was a part of. So
Oh, he was part of Team 5. Yeah, Team 5's going back years now as well. Yeah.
I was there every day, and then I remember we were in a Discord call for a group of people, and I remember him saying like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start posting my my Twitch stuff, like all the stuff I do, like clips and stuff, and then I'm gonna start posting it to YouTube. And I said, yeah, go ahead. I think hopefully that goes well for you, and it did. So there you go.
Yeah.
You just do YouTube, easy clap, you know. So it just worked out for him.
And it's funny because I've recently started doing YouTube, and you know, it does work. Like I'm not big or anything. I have like my first videos were getting like what 200, 100, 200 views. My most recent videos are getting sort of like 2,000-3,000 views now. So it's picked up in the last sort of month since we started doing it.
YouTube Shorts
But
are OP.
it's really surreal. Yeah, that's what I've been focusing on, YouTube Shorts. The thing is, it's really hard to gain watch time from Shorts, and that's how your metrics are analyzed. It's your watch time that means everything. When your short is like 9 seconds long, you need it to be watched like 20,000 times before it makes any difference. It's crazy.
You gotta make the
which
the
is
good
hard.
shorts. You gotta just be like, look, it's the moon, guys. Right there. See that? The moon's right there. See?
That was great. I like how when you know you've done something right when people start to implement and imitate it. And
of course.
I'm not sure who did it originally. I don't know if it came from ADC, but ADC originally did like my first instance or knowledge of the moon was from ADC, and it was like so. I could be wrong if they weren't the original first person, but it seemed so original and fresh, and it was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And people kind of clocked onto that, and that I think that was also a massive boost to ADC and their content as well.
Yeah, you just gotta.
It's all about, sometimes you just need that one thing that just blows up for you, and it just can propel you so far, and that's happened for a few people.
I like my talk show.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
You gotta find the
Yeah,
one
I mean,
thing.
anyone who's anyone's heard of you and knows of you, which is
Yes.
really cool. Like, if I ever mention you to anyone, they're like, yeah, I know Rebel. It's like, you've been around. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stroke my ego, please. Please, I need my dopamine rush. I need my serotonin for the day. Please. Please tell me how everyone knows me. Please. Please, I was watching Dragon Ball Z. Lend me your strength. Give me your strength. Come on. I need to make a spirit bomb. Feed my ego. My ego spirit bomb. It's getting stronger. Please, lend me your strength, humans. Everyone on VR chat,
God.
please.
It's always nice to receive a compliment. It really is. Receiving a compliment is like the easiest thing in the world to give, and
Yeah.
it can give you the nicest feeling. It's so sweet. Like whenever anyone in your chat, I can imagine you get the same feeling. It's like, oh my god, I love your content, or I love what you do. You're just like, oh, thank you so much. It like kind of just, it makes your day, doesn't it? It's just so nice. I love it.
100%. I told you, it gives me my dopamine rush.
Yeah, it just makes me feel like what I do is worthwhile, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, hard work.
I feel like I've made a difference.
To me, I'm always very mellow. Sound like I'm 1 foot in the grave. But the moment that someone gives me, a compliment, I'm like, oh boy, hey man, I'm alive now. You know, it's like, it's like I just down like a Monster Energy drink or something. I'm like, yo, thank you. How you doing? You know, when I start talking about what you're passionate about, which is my talk show, then I feel alive. And I'm talking about anything else, I'm like half asleep. You know. That's just how I am, though. But
I get you.
anyway, next question we have here is there anything you want to experience in VR chat you haven't gotten to do yet? Is there anything that you want to do but you're like, yeah, I haven't been able to do it because I don't have time, or it just doesn't exist?
It's a hard one. I feel like I would love to know how to make avatars. I think that's something that I've always beating myself up over, because I've always had the community to help me with my avatars, or like so Tron Wolf put the outfit on for me and got this ready to convert into VR chat. My avatar is Booth, so this is a Booth avatar. I've had this for years. All my avatars previous to this have been Booth as well, so I've always had my assets straight from Booth. And yeah, I've never known how to do anything myself, and I feel like I would have been able to create a much more distinguishable and unique character. Basically, something like Flare has done. They've taken an existing concept and they've completely redone it from scratch, and they've created something so unique and beautiful that people just fallen in love with. And I love it too. I think it's a beautiful avatar, what they've done. I would have loved to have done something like that. And if I could turn back the clock a couple of years, I wish I'd invested more time into learning Blender and Unity. But I feel like I'm this far and I've done this much without knowing it, that there's not enough incentive for me to try and learn it now. So yeah, I'm getting a new avatar. It's currently in the works. And this currently is the VRC Bunny avatar. I do have a Puck avatar, which is almost complete. We were hoping it'd be ready for today for my birthday, but it's not. Which is fine. Like, there was no guarantee on it, so it's cool. But yeah, that once again is being made by other people, and all I will need to do is take the file and upload it, and that's it. It will work. So there's once again no incentive for me to need or learn Unity and Blender, although I feel like a cop-out for not knowing how to do it.
I gotcha. I mean, I never learned to make avatars. I probably should have learned years ago, but I just don't have time anymore. Time is something I don't have a lot of anymore in terms of just day to day. Like, I have a lot of responsibilities. I have people to talk to, set up interviews, do all these things. I just don't have the time or the patience to learn anymore. So I spend up just throwing money at people and be like, do the thing. It's the same thing with this talk show world. When I made my own world when I first started, and then as time went on, I decided to then sort of spend money on building, paying a professional to do it better. Because I could probably learn how to do everything in here. It'd just take me a lot longer. So I decided I'm just going to take a shortcut, pay the money, and then have my dream become a reality. But obviously I'm a little less, you know, in terms of money, I'm a little poor. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Either you do everything yourself, or you get someone to help you, or you commission them. I think a good example of someone that does everything mostly themselves, that runs like kind of like a show type thing, is CodeMiko. CodeMiko is a person that kind of does interviews in a weird way as like a VTuber. They have like a whole like 3D mocap suit and all this crazy stuff, but they're actually a programmer. They learned how to do everything in the Unreal Engine, and that's how they run their show, and then have all the Twitch integrations. But as they, you know, time went on, I think they have a small team that helps them now, but when they first started, they did everything by themselves. Every single thing. They had multiple versions of their avatar, multiple versions of like kind of like it wasn't like a studio, it was kind of like just like a bedroom setup. And then like they had like a TV, like the Discord person to call in and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is that they did everything. They programmed everything themselves. They went to school, got a diploma, learned how to do animation, 3D modeling, mocap suits, paying like $20,000 for a mocap suit plus the program, and then spending all this time and effort on hopefully it working out. And if it didn't, then she would have been $20,000 in debt. But it did work out because she had a huge concept idea that ended up working. But yeah, sometimes you know, learning everything yourself can be very beneficial, because then you just work in your own hours. But for someone like me, I just didn't have enough patience to sit back and have to basically learn everything. I just said, you know what, I want to just focus on being a talk show host, and then just have someone else help me in the, you know, behind the scenes type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just a decision I decided to make.
No, it makes perfect sense. I wish, it's just one of those things that you look back on in hindsight, and you I don't know. I just think it's a good skill to have. I kind of look at it like learning to swim or riding a bike. These are like core principles to life. And VR chat is, avatars. It's super important. But it just really irks me and it annoys the hell out of me that I could have learned it, but I just chose not to. I gave it a spin and I was just like, I can't be bothered with this. I just stopped immediately. Yeah, that will always haunt me to this day. It's kind of like how I gave up guitar when I was a kid. I was naturally good at guitar, gave it up, massive regrets. Probably one of the only things I regret.
Could have been the next Beatles. What the heck, man?
I don't know. I think I enjoy music, but I wouldn't want to do it at a professional level. I wouldn't want to be a singer-songwriter or anything. I would just like to play music because for my own enjoyment. It wouldn't be like a public thing, I feel.
Okay. I gotcha. Did you know that we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes or something like that? You believe that?
Holy hell. I had no idea.
Yeah.
My bad.
Listen, when you're having a good time, time flies, you know? When you're not having a good time, then it feels like an eternity. Doesn't it, huh?
Have you ever had an interview where you've kind of struggled for the conversation and you've been like, we still have time. Wait,
yeah,
how's the weather?
Yeah, of course. Of course I have. I won't say which ones.
Of course, yeah. No,
that's only for me to know.
No.
But yeah, so it has
Of
happened.
course.
Oh, I missed my commercial break. Oh shit, you're right. Like 40 mintake late on that bitch. You know what?
Don't they play automatically after a while? Don't they play after?
We'll take a commercial break. I got lost. Okay, we're gonna take a 3-minute commercial break.
I've scuffed everything. I seem to infect people with my scuff, so that's spot on.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll take our break now. I mean,
I'm sorry, Pete.
So basically, I'm still streaming. We're just chilling, essentially. So on YouTube, they're gonna just think nothing's happening. But on Twitch, essentially, there's 3 minutes of ads. I should have done this 40 minutes.
Yeah, there's 3 minutes ads. I hate Twitch ads.
But anyway,
it is what it is.
While we wait for the ads to play out and do their business, unless you're subscribed, then you don't see ads. Because we're going to be wrapping up soon anyway. Is there anything that you want to ask me or think about in the next couple minutes, or anybody in the audience, or if anyone can listen to me in the chat? Any questions for Puckerai? The time is now. So if you want to ask a question, ask now or forever hold your peace.
I think I've got your stream open actually. I'm currently lurking in your stream.
Yeah, they're kind of just they're all lurkers. They're all just lurking.
Yeah, I'm subbed. Yay, no ads for me.
Yeah. What's it? Sharky Marks gave you a sub.
Sharky Marks.
Yes.
Oh, Sharky. Sharky's a lovely bean. Thank you, Sharky. I appreciate that. Thank you, Bean. I'm trying. This is hearts, but I'm in my menu, so it's the hands just.
Oh,
hold on, just
you
do
like
this
this.
instead.
I do this. Mendex.
Oh wow! How am I supposed to fit all?
Because I've got my menu open, I can't it doesn't work. So I have to close it to do my
Okay.
Yeah.
Ash and Jinx, thanks for the raid.
Is it?
Appreciate it.
I did tell my community obviously that I would be here, but because most of them are European.
Oh yeah, they're all sleeping. They're
like being a weekday.
They're
all asleep.
They're like, yo, when's the interview? Oh, I missed it. What the?
I can imagine if you watched the VOD back.
Yeah.
I mean, Tedo's one of my mods in chat. I can see Koro is currently in. Koro, where do you live? I can't remember. Koro sleeps in the day and is waking up. It's probably like 5 a.m. for them right now. But they've only been awake for like 4 or 5 hours, so they're fine. I know Jellybean as well. Jellybean's a lovely person. And Sharky! I love Sharky. And Cardo. Cartograph! I had no idea Cartograph's one of your mods. I haven't seen Cartograph in ages. Yes. Cartograph, you're stinky. If they can hear me. Cartograph, you're stinky.
I gotcha.
It's nice to see some old faces you haven't seen in a long time.
It's 4 a.m. here. Well, How many seconds we have left on this?
Wait, is that cool?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh, it's tele.
Oh.
Woo!
Woo! Ads are over,
We back.
Pog. Heck yeah. Okay, so welcome back from
Big
our
clap.
commercial break. But what I was saying during the break, in case, because probably a lot of people saw the ads or like, what the hell are they talking about? Basically, I was just saying we're gonna be wrapping up soon, but before I wrap up, I always like to ask questions, or sorry, like have the audience / chat ask a question to us. So whether you want to ask a question to Puck or myself, the time is now. So if you want to ask a question to either of us to discuss, or one of us, ask a question now. Just type in the chat, or someone who's sitting in the audience, literally in the audience, can literally ask a question. Now, obviously, if you want to ask a question, either you just type in the chat, or B, you literally can just speak up and we will amplify your voice. So if you have a question, just raise your hand if you're in the actual audience, and we'll get to it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How did you two meet?
Oh, we actually have a question from Fallen Flames. Hold on, watch this. You want to see some magic? Amplify your voice?
Yeah, I like
And then
magic.
we put the camera on them. All right, Fallen, what's your...
Oh
what's
my
your,
god,
look at
that's
that.
so cool.
What's your question?
Where do you see yourself in like a year or two from now?
Okay.
Hmm.
Where do I see myself in a year or two? Like, with streaming or just in general?
Yeah. Just in general, like.
Okay. Do you want to answer that first, Puck, or you want me to answer? You want
Yeah, I can go first. In a year, I mean, I never set goals or milestones for myself, which is probably really stupid of me, considering I like, this is now my job, so I should probably be serious about it. Like, I never set goals for myself, so I never set the goal of being a partner, and I never set the goal of creating a specific content, or everything kind of just happened accidentally. So I've kind of always gone with the flow and just, you know, let what will be. I haven't set any goals or targets for next year. The only major thing or project that I work on is my talk show, What the Puck, and I would love to get through this season and be able to do season 3 and 4 next year. But, you know, that's just as and when. They're the only real targets or goals I have to achieve next year. But as far as content creation and who I am, I've just started doing YouTube and TikTok. So I've started building on those recently. And basically, the main aim of those is to build my Twitch, because the algorithm for discoverability on Twitch sucks, so I'll be honest. If you want to be discovered, you need to, you know, find other ways of people finding your content, and sometimes other socials, like my Twitter's done really well for me. That's probably going to overtake my followership on Twitch soon, actually. That's just gaining viewers, like followers like mad. But yeah, I just want to build my YouTube and my TikTok, and just continue to do stupid shorts that people enjoy. And yeah, that should help the Twitch grow. But as far as like a bigger plan, like a master plan, I got nothing. I haven't planned for that. I just go with the flow, and I just enjoy day by day what I do, and I will do it for as long as I can. And, you know, if that turns out to be 6 months, then it's 6 months. If I do this for the next 5 years, then it's 5 years. But yeah, I will just enjoy the ride for as long as I can, but I will never take it to the point where it is my lifeblood and I will like do anything for it. I will only ever do it as long as I enjoy it, and I feel it's right for me. And yeah, it's just a day-by-day thing. But the show is the only important thing that I wish to do long-term, I would say. Yeah.
For me to answer the question...
I should probably plan more.
For the next year or two, in general? Well, I guess the first thing I would like to do is move out. I live with my brother. I used to live with my parents, and then I live with my oldest brother. But I want to get my own place, my own apartment, be more independent in that way. Besides moving out, I'd like to, well, update this world more, which I'm already actively doing. So if I was to fast forward 2023, 2024, probably by that time, I'll probably have this world completely, like, you know, heavily more updated, more types of shows, game shows, various types of content in this world. But then also probably focusing more on like Twitter and focusing more on YouTube because I've been collecting like my YouTube right now is just archives. It's just I do an interview, I highlight it, and then I just export it. There's no editing. I don't have time to edit, but what I would like to do, I have been talking about for a long time, is wanted to do shorts and just do that type of stuff, whether that's from this type of streams or these types of like interviews, or I'll just make my own little 5-second shorts because making a 5-second video is not a lot of effort, and that's probably right up my alley rather than like pumping out like a 10 to 15 minute video with like all this crazy effects and stuff. So that's what I'm probably going to be focused on in the next, you know, from today till, you know, the next 2 years is YouTube shorts, more Twitter stuff, updating this world, more VTubing. It's probably something else I've been slacking a little bit on, but I'm waiting for my avatar.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to be doing as well, yeah.
My avatar is getting worked on right now. It should be done hopefully sometime in July, and then I'll have to then get it set up for VTubing, which I already have. Like this version I have right now is already rigged for face tracking, which I've already done for VTubing, but I kind of want to like not like re-debut, but kind of just like, hey, a new version of my model, kind of like a fresh face to then you know, show off all the gaming stuff I do. So that's another thing I'll do sometime this year, just waiting for it to be finished. So that's basically my plans for the next up to 2 years. Hopefully that answers your question.
Is it going to be?
Go ahead.
Will your new model be 2D or 3D? Are you going like 2D VTubing? Or?
No, it's the same model. Just this base is 3 years old, so it's the same character, same OC. It's gonna have the same face, but just better typology, better textures.
Okay, yeah.
Better blend shapes. Just sort of like an upgrade. Thinking of it going from a 1.0 to a 2.0 version of the same OC. So it will be three-dimensional, 3D model. At some point, maybe I'll get a 2D model, but 2D models are almost as much as 3D models if you want a good one. So they're like $1,000, 2,000 buckaroos.
Yeah, true.
And, I don't have the money for that right now.
They can run more than that though.
Yeah, there's sometimes
like,
maybe 3 or 4 grand.
Some 3D models are like 5K.
Yep.
The most expensive I've seen is like 5 grand, and I was just like, that's more than a car.
That's right. So that's why I can't afford a whole
expensive.
new model. I just got my model redone basically. It's the same base. It's just it's been resculpted. It's just better typology, better blend shapes, better textures, just better weight painting, just done properly and just improved upon. So it's not, so in some aspects it's just a better version of what I have now. To the untrained eye, you'd probably just be like, I couldn't tell the difference. But someone like me, I'm like, dude, this is way better. It's just an overall better avatar. I don't know. It's fast forward a month or two, you'll probably see and be like, wow, that looks really cool. Or maybe like, I couldn't tell a difference. I don't know. It's just something I wanted to do, and my avatar is 3 years old, the base. So I kind of want to get a fresh paint on it. Think of like that.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, yeah.
So we got some other questions. Yeah, Rebel Remastered. That's another good way of putting it. So we have some questions. I have to zoom up because obviously chat flies by. Where do you live? I don't know if you can answer that question. Yeah, where do you live? Where's your address? What's your phone number? What's the 3 digits on the, you know? Oh my god. Anyway, Dr. Jelly says, Puck, were you worried to come on this show?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I was a little bit nervous to come on. I'm super comfortable and totally fine being on that side of the desk.
Yeah.
Not so much this side. I'll be honest. Yeah, I've tried my best to be well behaved actually. Like I've stayed away from being a degenerate and a naughty boy. And yeah, I can understand now why some of my guests tell me that they're super nervous before they come on the show. I get it. I get why. But yeah, no, I feel like once we started talking, we were like chilling out. I was totally fine. Like I had no issue at all, and it's been lovely like sitting here talking to you. And yeah, I could talk for hours. So I talk too much if I was. So. Yeah, I was nervous to come on originally, but yeah, you're really nice. Your backstage staff are really, really awesome, and yeah, it's been a pleasure being here. I'm glad I'm here.
Of course, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Do you have any other questions, chat? Any other questions, chat? Audience?
How did you two meet?
How did Puck and I meet?
Yes. How did you find each other?
I'm not sure actually. I have memory problems because brain doesn't work properly. Hence why, like, I forgot what we were talking about twice midway through. But yeah, if you remember, go for it. But I got no clue. I'm terrible.
If I had
It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Like, I've known you for over a year, I think.
a year? Was it only
I think
a year?
so.
Or was
I think
it,
I've known you for more than a year.
I thought it was like 3 years ago, or 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, it might be longer. Yeah, it's at least a year, so it could have been years. Yep.
I think it was way before.
It's been a long time.
I could be wrong. Like I said, for some people, I could immediately say, yes, this is exactly the exact day, the exact second I met you, in the exact world and what I was doing. Some people I can remember exactly like that, but for Puck, I think how I met you was probably through a mutual friend. It was probably, I think, way before I did talk shows. I could be wrong, but I think I met you probably before I did, because before I did talk shows, I made Friends Plus World and Presentation Room Plus, which is my world. And
oh my god! Yeah, okay. This rings a bell. I think I met you in a Friends Plus, like through some mutuals or something one day.
yeah,
Yeah, this does ring a bell. In the presentation room.
Yeah, probably something like that. I mean, we're friends with Tuz, people like that, probably something like that.
Oh my god, Tuz! I love Tuz. Tuz is so squishy. That's such a weird compliment. I love Tuz. I haven't seen them in a while.
Dark
actually.
Gamer, where do you live? State?
Tuz, give me hugs.
Well, they don't live in a state, so that's how they can't answer that.
Oh, I live in London. Yeah, I'm based in London, which I don't mind telling people I live in London. So there's like 8 million people who live here, so.
What was your childhood like when growing
up? I'm a city boy. Very. I was. That's an interesting one, actually. I was very ostracized and lonely kid growing up. I was, the unpopular kid that no one wanted to be friends with, and I didn't quite fit in, and I didn't understand why no one wanted to be my friend. And yeah, I spent primary school that not having friends, and I remember I'd just kick a stone around in the playground, and I'd ask kids if I could play football, and they'd just be like, no. Yeah, it was very lonely. It was very lonely and very tough being a kid because I was just bullied, and I just didn't fit in. Like no one accepted me, and I was like a very awkward child, like super awkward. I don't know why. But I'm definitely not the same person today. That's for sure. I'm a very extroverted, like a presentable person. Whereas back then I was like, I don't know. I was just a mess. I was just a mess of a person, and yeah, being a kid for me was very hard. It was very stressful and lonely, but it helped give me the experiences and molded me into the person I am today. And it's nice that I've had these experiences so I can share them with people like my community, and I can relate to people when they say that they have a hard time at school, they get bullied or they've been beaten up or whatever, because I've been there and I understand what it's like. And you feel like you'll never have friends or you'll never fit in anywhere, but it's literally not the case. Once you finish school, the world opens up for you, and you will find people who will love you for who you are. It's just very hard to see that far when you're in that position. So it's nice that although I had these things happen to me as I was young, they turned me into the person I am today, and I wouldn't change that for the world.
I gotcha. I think I can relate to some of that, I'm not saying I had the worst childhood. I'm just saying, like, in high school I had a rough time, making friends and stuff like that. And it ended up me with my senior year, my final year of high school, is when I started doing YouTube. But my YouTube never took off. I just did it as kind of like an escapism,
Yeah.
And then YouTube never, this is 2012. This is a decade ago. So it never really did much to me. And then I started streaming in 2017 with VRChat, and obviously that took off. But you know, I think a lot of people can relate to, you know, streamers, you know, or VRChat people, because some people, you know, they have you know, sometimes they're antisocial, or they just don't know how to make friends, or they were bullied, or, you know, picked on in school, or, you know, and when you watch a streamer or you know, that they can relate to or play VRChat, sometimes they can relate to that person, and maybe they can make friends, and, you know, it's almost like a second chance, you know, at making friends and having wholesome moments, and, you know, a lot of fun stuff. Damn, that's looking emotional.
This game's changed a lot of lives. yeah, it did. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's funny how many lives this game has changed. I mean, it's changed my life for the better. It's put me in a position where, you know, although I could have just been in the stage and for the rest of my life, I am doing something that I enjoy and love every day. And whenever I'm live and I'm streaming, we literally said this on stream today, that you can hear me smile, you can hear me laugh, and you can hear in my voice that I'm smiling. And whenever I'm streaming, I am almost always smiling, and, you know, it brings me real happiness, and I'm so fortunate that I get to do that as a job. That's it's very special to me, and I'm glad that I can share these experiences and relate to people, because you know, although there are many content creators who, you know, are there to just solely be a form of entertainment and happiness and make people laugh, I like to be able to be personal, like very intimately personal with my community, and share these like hard stories or tough subjects that we can talk about. Like literally today we were talking about the fact that one of my viewers isn't able to come out to their parents about their bisexuality because their father wouldn't accept them, and I spoke to them about that, and how me being pansexual, I was never able to come out to my dad because he wouldn't accept me for the same reasons. So I can relate to people, and I can give them my advice and my experiences, and I feel that helps them so much more in their situations as well. So although I'm here to make people smile, I can be serious with you, and the experiences and the things that I've been through can help you in your time of need as well. And it's so nice that I have a way to link and relate to people in that regard. I think that's really special. Yeah, my dad still doesn't know.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, unfortunately, we've been going for 2 hours, and that's usually my cutoff time for.
That's okay, baby. Yeah.
And you have to get going and go to sleep time. But
yeah, it's like I've got to do like a marathon stream tomorrow because it's my birthday, so I got to go die.
One last thing is, do you have anything that you want to say out to the people out there watching? You want to shout yourself out and be like, hey, my name's Puck, it's my birthday, got an amazing stream you're going to be doing? Anything you want to shout out or say, or, you know?
Not really. Like I'm always happier, like giving exposure and shouting out other people, never myself. Like I never focus on myself when it comes to like exposure and things, which is also a stupid like business strategy considering this is my job. I should probably, you know, advertise myself. But I guess I would say that I stream on Twitch, and I'm an idiot.
Okay.
I've never been good with like talking about my stream in like, I feel awkward talking about it right now with you, like that's the whole point. But yeah, I just I'm a content creator, and I'm a femboy, and I'm pansexual, and I am an idiot, and that's really all I am.
I mean, I can help you out.
It's so
here.
Strange that people look up to me.
I can say, you know, go to twitch.tv/puck. You know, hit him with that follow.
Thank you.
You know, maybe use your Twitch Prime Gaming sub. Nudge, nudge. It's his birthday after all. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. You know, sharing is caring. You know, and in another month or two, you know, What the Puck Season 2 is going to be coming out. Maybe, you know, you can sign up or, you know, watch it and hang out and see all
we
the
finished
cool
applications. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, you can watch it, and, you know, find some new smaller streamers to follow, maybe hang out and be like, wow, there's a new group that you know, that dancer group, maybe I want to join, you know, maybe I want to be part of the dancing community, you know, I'm just saying. So all that's going to be on twitch.tv/puck. And thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And everybody in the
Thank you
audience
so much for having me.
Yeah.
I've appreciated the opportunity to be here. I remember when I was like years ago watching your show, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I never expected to ever actually be here. And so this is kind of like a very monumental moment for me, and this is a moment that I will remember for a long time. That you know, a show that I've always looked up to, and content that I've always enjoyed watching over the years. I am now a part of it, which is something I never would have imagined. So yeah.
Right.
Thank you for having me, Bean. I hope I was okay. I'm not sure I'm good at.
That's all right. Yeah,
I hope I did okay.
You did amazing. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. If you haven't already, hit that follow
Yeah,
button.
thank you for having me. Shall I run away now? Is that,
Well, actually, what happens is
do I
that
stay
in
here?
this world, Dead Guy can press the stream outro button, and then fancy things happen. So watch this. Watch the TV screen.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I don't have this tag.
Look at this. Look at
Oh yeah. Bye, Mom. Bye. I love you.
And in the meantime, I'll look for someone to raid. Let's raid Miyoshi. They're doing a charity. And I love